Hey, hi, and hello, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you are doing well. Let's hop in on a bit of conversation here that I am seeing on the subreddit. It is in regards to the new Lil Yachty record, which is the talk of the town across the music world because obviously it's such an interesting, sudden, and unforeseen change of pace stylistically for Yachty. While I have enjoyed the sort of weirdo aesthetics and tendencies of his debut Lil Boat tape. That's why I think that tape is so great. It's kind of eccentric out there in my opinion. Still to this day, I think the project has aged relatively well. But with that being said, even I, having loved that side of Yachty in the past, did not see a psychedelic rock and pop album coming down the pipe. And this user over here on our subreddit seems to think that the release of this album is like the mark of something. Do you think Lil Yachty's Let's Start Here marks a point of boredom with hip-hop/trap sound in general? Although the album's sound isn't that unique, a mainstream trap artist shifting to an entirely different sound made lots of people feel like they rediscovered non-hip-hop sounds. So far, I wouldn't entirely disagree. There are a lot of young and very hip-hop-centric listeners that when hearing this album for the first time, were probably introduced to a lot of stuff they probably haven't heard before. I mean, just looking at Justin Raisin, for example, who's, very deep on the production end of this record. They're being exposed to a new range of sounds as a result of this album. And with them being as quality as they are, I don't think that's a bad thing. Even if what Yachty is doing here stylistically and instrumentally isn't like the most, I guess, groundbreaking thing in psychedelic music in general, it's at least kind of, spreading that aesthetic. It's spreading that sound to people who wouldn't otherwise hear it. And it's not a terrible example of it, frankly. Surely more trap artists will want to create a similar buzz by trying out new sounds, new for them and a majority of their listeners. Hip hop and particularly trap have been the paradigm for mainstream music for more than a decade. We've heard everything and its thousand copies. We're overfed and oversaturated. Do you think this genre shift will become a trend and gradually take hip-hop down from its dominant place in mainstream music in the coming years? I myself have made similar claims in the past in terms of things such as peak trap, but I wouldn't necessarily, put my money on this record here being the sea change, because when you look at all of the artists in hip hop music for years now who have been, trying their hand at various shades of rock, it's not all that unique. And not to take away from what Yachty does on this LP, but he's far from being alone in this effort. Vic Mensa did a little punk album. I didn't think it was good, but he did it. Kid Cudi had a rock album. Logic had a rock album. Trippie Redd had his little rock record produced by Travis Barker. G-Eazy had a little rock record. MGK is now just fully a punk rock guy as of right now. Many have been freaking out recently over Quedeca going in the sort of art and experimental pop realm with his latest efforts. We're also seeing an increasing amount of artists out there on the scene these days who neither inhabit just a rock, just a pop, or just a hip hop lane. They do a little bit of everything and have kind of an edgy aesthetic or style to them. One Tizo Touchdown, who appears on the new Lil Yachty record, is an example of that. Gene Dawson, who we have praised on the channel before and have reviewed his music, interviewed him as well. Certainly somebody who operates in those multiple lanes. I think if anything is going out of style or tends to go out of style over time, it's a lack of versatility and variety. Like when you think about popular music over the past decade or so, often the artists who withstand all of the trends and sea changes and, micro sea changes that happen within, charts and popular music in general, they're the ones who switch it up over time. Kendrick has switched it up a lot. Drake, love him or hate him, has switched it up a lot. Tyler has switched it up a lot. Kid Cudi has switched it up a lot. I mean, there are other artists that I could name, but rarely are you rocking at the top of the charts and doing as well at the tail end of your career as you were at the start of your career. If you're just kind of doing one single thing and never changing, never taking risks, never doing anything different. And frankly, Yachty's been well overdue for a switch up for some time now, especially considering how different of a voice and a vibe he had coming onto the scene in comparison with the era of hip hop that we were transitioning out of in the early to mid 2010s. Now, do I think this record is going to spark an overall trend where every rap artist is making a psychedelic rock or pop album? Most likely not. And that's because I think most artists in general don't necessarily have it in them to undergo such a radical stylistic shift. And again, this commentary, this observation is not specific to rap artists. There are a fair amount of metal artists, electronic artists, jazz artists, and so on and so forth, who most likely over the course of their careers will never drop a sudden stylistic shift like the one Yachty just did. Look, there's nothing inherently wrong with sticking to your guns and staying in your lane and serving your audience what it is they're most interested in hearing what you do, playing to your strengths. Plus, the music industry doesn't historically tend to reward artists as much as maybe they should be rewarded when they do happen to take a risk and do something different. Putting out a record like this, even if it is good and beloved and critically acclaimed, could potentially be a loss for Yachty financially. Could there potentially be a scenario where dozens of artists take Yachty's lead and they attempt what he attempted here? I suppose it is possible, but if that happens, I imagine that's going to get really old really fast because, it's not like every artist who does it is going to be as daring as Lil Yachty has been with it. And who the hell wants to hear that? It's not the fact that this is a psych pop and rock album that makes it interesting. It's the fact that Yachty switched it up as significantly as he did that makes it interesting. That and there are tracks on it that frankly are pretty damn good. But in terms of what OP has written here, it may be a bit of projecting. Maybe they are really tired of hip hop's dominance in music as of lately. And if such a thing is going to change, especially radically, there's so many other factors that will have to be at play in order for such a thing to happen. Not just for artists to be willing to, try something different and take a risk here, take a risk there, but the audiences actually have to take to it. They have to demand it. There has to be a sea change in the numbers that are being streamed on records that trend in more of that psych pop and rock direction. I mean, the artists that pop off the hardest are often the ones that are giving the audiences what they want. There would have to be a deep and burning demand for something in this vein for such a huge change in the music landscape to take place. A lot of rap artists have been switching it up lately, have been trying their hands at different genres, especially rock, and sometimes it's great. Sometimes not so much. Lil Yachty is far from the first. And if this record were to build into some kind of larger momentum that influenced other artists to try some other shit, a lot of different cogs and wheels would have to be turning in order for that change to fully take shape. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Have you heard the new Lil Yachty record? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? Over here next to my head is another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano. Mwah. Forever.